associations in the 1960s resulted in the use of the term undisputed to determine the true boxing champ. By the 1990s, the chess world would experience its own power struggle. Kasparov was declared the PCA world champ again in 1995. In 1996 and 1998, Anatoly Karpov beat Gatakamsky and Viswanathan Anand, respectively, for the FIDE title. FIDE actually tried to unify the rival titles by breaking with tradition and proposing a new knockout-style tournament that had been used in lower-level matches. The plan was to seed FIDE champion Anatoly Karpov and PCA champion Garry Kasparov directly into the semifinals. But Kasparov didn't want to defend his title under those circumstances and declined his invitation. So Karpov was given a spot in the final instead. He beat Viswanathan Anand in a match played in Switzerland. FIDE used the single elimination format for the next few years, despite the controversy surrounding the new structure. Critics of the format said the short matches and rapid playoff style left too much to chance and didn't ensure that the best player would win. Others liked the fact that more players could be included and thought it made scheduling easier since only one venue was needed. Under this format, Alexander Kalifman became the FIDE world champion in 1999, beating Vladimir Akopian in Las Vegas. In 2000, both the PCA and FIDE organized championships. On the PCA side, Russian player Vladimir Kramnik ended Kasparov's reign in a close match played in London.
There was a turning of the page, I guess, in welcoming Kramnik as his successor.
In the same year, rising Indian star Viswanathan Anand earned the FIDE world title after beating Alexei Shirov in a match played in India and Iran. Only FIDE organized the championship in 2002. Ukrainian player Ruslan Ponomaryov won the single elimination event held in Moscow. And in 2004, Kramnik defended his title in a match that ended 2-2 with 10 draws. A draw was not enough for Hungarian Peter Leko to unseat Kramnik. In the FIDE Championship of 2004, Rustam Kazimzhanov beat Michael Adams. FIDE eventually abandoned the single elimination format. In 2005, the governing organization decided to use normal time controls, returning the matches to a much slower pace. 8 top players were named in a double round robin. In the end, Veselin Topalov was declared the 2005 FIDE winner, besting Viswanathan Anand and Peter Svidler, who tied for second. The title had been split for 13 years, and it was time to unite the chess world and produce an undisputed world champion. The World Chess Championship of 2006 was the unifying match between the PCA's classical world chess champion, Vladimir Kramnik, and FIDE world chess champion, Veselin Topalov. Vladimir Kramnik defeated Topalov. After that, FIDE regained control of the World Chess Championship, and the match reverted to being based on a final match between the defending champion and a challenger decided by the candidates tournament.
What impresses me most about Kramnik as a player, I guess he's one of the most accurate players in history that I think doesn't get enough credit for the fact that, like the next generation coming after Kasparov, and we talked about the fact that Kasparov welcomed the machines, Kramnik was using machines to influence his style of play, I think, earlier than people realized.
He's one of the deepest thinkers in strategy and openings in chess. In fact, given that he had much less help than many others, his impact is even greater. He has this ability, I think, to teach and explain chess that's unique.
Viswanathan Anand is a 5-time world chess champion. Born in India in 1969, Anand learned to play chess from his mother when he was 6. By the time he was 14, he was winning tournaments like the Asian Junior Championship, National Chess Championship, and the World Junior Chess Championship. All on his way to becoming India's first Grandmaster at age 18. Anand has been one of the most well-regarded figures in the chess world for 2 decades, earning the respect of chess rivals and champions alike.
I must say that I admire Vishy a lot, because I think he was one of the world champions, probably the only world champion, who won world champion titles in every single format, with every single time control, with every single system that existed, matches, knockout, and he never, well, in my memory at least, he never complained.
He won his first world champion title in 2000 in a 100-player single-elimination tournament in New Delhi, India, and Tehran. Backed by home crowd support, Anand moved through the early rounds with little trouble. His momentum stalled in the quarterfinals with a streak of draws. But it was enough to keep advancing. The final match pitted Anand against Alexei Shirov. Anand won the coveted title, going undefeated in the tournament with 8 wins and 12 draws. The win made Anand the first world champion from Asia and the first world champion from outside the former Soviet Union since Bobby Fischer. Anand received a $528,000 cash prize for winning the FIDE world title.
To talk about Viswanathan Anand's achievements in chess and what he represents to the game becoming truly global is hard to put into words. I think people forget that before Vishy Anand, every world chess champion other than Robert James Fischer was of former Soviet State Union descent in some way.
2007 marked the beginning of 4 straight world title wins for Anand. In Mexico City, Anand beat Vladimir Kramnik and Boris Gelfand in a double round-robin tournament.
If you win a world title, you should be able to say, I am the world chess champion, and finish your sentence, so to speak. So when I won the world title in 2007 in Mexico City, it had been reunified for just under a year at that point. And I felt one big weight off my shoulders. This feeling that I had to explain my title had almost disappeared.
In 2008, Anand again defeated Vladimir Kramnik in a best-of-12 match. Then in 2010, he narrowly defeated Veselin Topalov. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 7 draws. The 2010 World Chess Championship was not only a testament to Anand's fortitude, but also to his stellar reputation. Anand's flight to the championship game in Sofia, Bulgaria, was originally cancelled due to a volcanic eruption in Iceland. When the Bulgarian organizers refused to delay the games, Anand traveled 40 hours by car to get there. And if that wasn't a rough enough start, Anand lost the first game to Topalov in just 30 moves. But the reigning champ didn't back down. After 11 games, the score was tied, 5.5 to 5.5. Anand signaled his willingness to accept a draw in Game 12. Topalov didn't want to take his chances against Anand in a forced rapid playoff, given Anand's reputation as a formidable rapid player. But Topalov couldn't convert the game to a win. Anand retained his world champion title by 1 point. After the tournament, Anand revealed that former rivals Garry Kasparov, Vladimir Kramnik, and even Magnus Carlsen helped him prepare for the 2010 World Chess Championship. Anand's regard as a good sportsman was evident when Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh invited him to a dinner he was hosting for US President Barack Obama in November of 2010. Anand was the only sports person invited. Finally, in 2012, Anand would win the world champion title just one more time, beating Boris Gelfand in Moscow.
To say the statement, with where we are now for India, that Viswanathan Anand was the first Grand Master in that country is absolutely mind-blowing, and probably nothing else needs to be said to really understand his greatness and legacy, in that now we're talking about many of the world's best chess players being Indian.
Of course, growing up, I dreamt of becoming a world champion. Even if I didn't quite know what that involved or meant. But when I finally became world champion, I could then realize that there was I had done something historical, and I had broken through a barrier, and from now on, India would always have its first world champion.
When Magnus Carlsen took the torch from Vishy Anand, I think it was generally accepted that the time had come and that Magnus was maybe the best chess player overall, at least in all facets of the game.
Magnus Carlsen has been the world chess champion since 2013. Born in 1990, his rise to become one of the best players of the game ever is nothing short of spectacular. But before Carlsen was known as a chess prodigy, he was just a 5-year-old boy who wasn't motivated by the lure of prestigious titles. He was motivated initially by beating his older sister at chess. After finally defeating his sister, soon Carlsen was playing against himself, reading chess books, and being coached by the top players in Norway. By the age of 13, he was a grandmaster. By the age of 17, he was the Norwegian chess champion. And by the age of 18, he surpassed a 2,800 rating. The Washington Post dubbed him the Mozart of chess. After years of raising eyebrows and earning praise, Carlsen finally got his chance at the world chess title in 2013. His win over reigning champ Vishy Anand, in Anand's home country of India, was heralded by former champ Garry Kasparov as the start of a new era in chess. The young Carlsen, who developed his game in the age of super chess computers, won by 3 points in 10 of 12 scheduled games. The two men reversed their roles in the 2014 World Chess Championship. This time, Carlsen was the reigning champ, and Anand was the challenger. According to the World Championship's website, the 2014 title match drew more than 1 million viewers a day, breaking global audience records. They didn't have to play the scheduled 12 games. It took only 11 for Carlsen to score the required 6.5 points needed to be declared the winner.
Objectively, it's hard to say that Magnus Carlsen isn't the greatest player of all time. What makes him so great? He's a genius. First, he's obviously a genius. He's brilliant. He perceives things on another level. He probably understands higher level principles that haven't quite been articulated, that maybe can't even be put into words.
Magnus Carlsen also has a photographic memory, but also natural ability, natural talent. It's not only about memory, but about being able to focus, to concentrate, to handle the pressure. There are so many things that make a player a great player.
The 2016 World Chess Championship pitted Carlsen against Russian Grandmaster Sergei Karyakin, who had been one of the youngest grandmasters in history. After 12 games, the score was tied. The match format called for rapid chess to break the tie. Carlsen ultimately held on to his title, but the rapid playoff ending to the World Chess Championship drew criticism. Other respected players, such as 4-time U.S. champion Yasser Seirawan and former world champion Anatoly Karpov, called it inappropriate. Since there was already a World Rapid Championship, it wouldn't be the last time a rapid speed game would determine the title. In 2018, Carlsen's challenger was Italian-American player Fabiano Caruana. The prize fund was €1 million. The format was 12 classical